All right, cool. I'm going to show you how to paint the new mud that I put on. I wanted it to be thicker and have more depth. I'm likely going to be using either clear Elmer's school glue that you can get at Walmart for $12 and something, a bottle for a gallon, which a gallon is a lot for any diorama that you do. Anybody that does these knows that you can do a lot of projects with a gallon. Okay, so moving on to what I was saying. I'm going to show you the two colors that I use to make this mud. Now, you see how it dries and it is not glossy. Well, that's not what you want. You really don't want that. So I recommend you spray your mud when it dries, the paint dries, with some polyurethane to give it that wet, glossy look. Because after all, this is a crashed X-Wing in a swamp somewhere. And judging by the deterioration and mold and mildew that's on it, it's been laying there for quite some time. I wanted it to have that look. Some little corner somewhere in the Star Wars world. Yeah, that's really starting to come together and look a lot better. Looking a lot better. Okay, so moving on to what I was saying. Okay, you got, this is the paint, one paint that I use. This kit's from Walmart. Use that one. And you use this one. And you mix those two together and it comes up with that mud look that I have done. Now, some would probably say that why did you paint it the first time if you was adding more mud to it? That was a mistake. That was a goof. I made that mistake because I didn't know whether I needed more mud or not. It's an honest mistake. And that's a lot of what building these is all about too, is making mistakes and learning. And it's fun. It really is. Every little mistake will help you to learn just a little bit more about what to do the next time around. There we go. And if you miss a place, don't freak out. You can always come back and get it later. It's not that big of a deal. You can always come get it later. Just make sure you get every little place. Make sure you cover all that white good. Cover it up really good. Cover up really good, just like that. Now, it don't have to be a Star Wars scene or anything like that. You can dye these dioramas with anything at all. I'm just showing you a cheaper method, more affordable way of doing it, with items that you can find at any hardware store. Oh yeah. That first coat's always going to be lighter. And with a swamp scene like this, you're going to want those coats to be dark. You're going to want them to be dark. And you're going to want it to be glossy too. Give it that wet look. Yeah, just get right in there. You know, it don't have to be too special. Just make sure you get all that white covered right up. Make sure you get all that white covered right up. Cover it right up. I'm liking those ripples that I put in it before I started painting it, when I was putting that grout layer down. Those ripples makes it have more of a realistic effect. Oh yeah, that's really coming together and looking good. My wife does arts and crafts too. It's kind of a thing that just runs in the family. And for right now, we're just going to let that one dry. It looks good wet like that, but it does dry, not gloss. So like I said before, you're going to want to put some polyurethane on it to give it that gloss look. I really should have used high gloss, but I used what I had at the time. My channel is going to be all about building things like this on a budget, but making it look good. And I'm not knocking big chain stores. I'm not knocking them at all. It's just sometimes you can't pay that much for a small bag of moss or a small bag of sand, when you can get the same sand at a cheaper price at another location, or even rocks right out of your own flower bed to use in these dioramas. These are gravels. I picked certain ones, of course, because of the look and the shape of them, but those are gravels. They came right out of my own driveway. Okay, let's get a little more paint on here. There we go. It's looking like I'm gonna have to go make some more paint. Of course, it won't hurt to make a video to show you how to make that paint color. Okay, I need to make me some more paint because I'm still lacking in places. But I don't want to make too much more because I need to let it set and dry the first coat and then add the second coat layer to get rid of some of those white marks to give it a more realistic effect. But for right now, I'm going to show you how to make a little bit. I'm not a professional, like I've said before. I use just the little bit here and a little bit there method. Use a little bit like that. Oops, sorry. A little bit like that. There we go. And you grab your other paint. You do the same thing. Just 2 dots around the same size, or to cover it. This is a little bit thicker. This is the kind of paint that I'm using for that. Put the lid on it. The other one that I put down a second ago was this paint right here. Okay, now you mix those two together. You need to mix them fairly good too. Mix them together pretty good. Make sure that those two colors blend together really well. I wanted that soupy, nasty mud look. Now, if you want it to be darker than that, that's fine. You can always add a little bit of black or let a little bit more brown to it to give it that effect. Now, moving back onto this. Get that good and painted just like that. At first, this doesn't look great at all. You'd be thinking, oh my God, you know, I'm making a horrible mess. This is not looking anything like, you know, the finished product that he did. Well, it takes time and it takes patience. But you'll get there, I promise. You'll get there. It'll look just like you want it to. You just got to keep working at it. The first coat, anybody that's ever painted anything will tell you the first coat never looks good. Sometimes the second coat don't. Okay. This one's starting to dry enough to where I can show you what a second coat will look like on it. I got my ceiling fan on in my art memorabilia room, sorry. Got better lighting in my memorabilia room right now. See how much darker that is, how much better it looks compared to that. That's one coat. That's two coats. Sometimes you might need as much as 3 coats. I'm looking for a good deal right now on an air gun. My air gun has sadly passed away, but I don't like to get too reliant on an air gun and forget how to use a brush. So it's good to keep in practice with your brushes. The spot over here, and you get that, make sure that's got good. But this is deep as the mud's going to be. I'm going to see how much better that looks with the second coat. Yeah, looking a lot better. I'll use what's left in this tray to do a little highlights here and yonder. And later on, when this dries, I will give it a second coat. And I will spray it with some polyurethane a little bit later to give it that wet look. And if it don't look good the first time when you use that wet look, well, that's fine. You can always spray it again a little later and give it that wet look, unless you're using a paint that has a gloss already in it. But I use a lot of watercolors. They're easier to work with and the price is more affordable. Pretty much what I do on my channel is I make stuff at an affordable price. Show you how to use everyday stuff to make good dioramas, paint models, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I'm starting to really come together. It's really starting to have that muddy look. Right now it's got sort of a rough look, like I said, because it needs more paint, but I will get it there. I've had people to say, well, I've, seen better. No, I'm sure you have. I don't claim to be a professional. But it's not about what's better. It's not about that. It's about how much fun you have when you're doing it. And I have a lot of fun doing this, folks. I really do. I have a lot of fun doing this. It's something that makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, that's really starting to come together. Well, folks, nothing but love, and I hope you watch the next video I have when I've already put a second coat of paint on the brown to make it look more brown, and then I will make a video when I put the polyurethane on it, and then that's when I'll let it sit until I make a next video about putting clear Elmer's glue or epoxy to make it a shallow swamp. Well, anyway, we appreciate you. We have nothing but love, and God bless.